and welcome to KnightHunter Books. And today we have our September wrap-up.
It's a bit shorter than normal because I've been playing a lot of Mass Effect Andromeda and you've discovered Skyrim.
Yeah, video games. Bad. However, I think I've had quite a good reading month. I think I've read a lot more pages than normal.
That's because you've read a chunker.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to. First, not a chunker at all. First book we've both read this month was Grief is the Thing with Feathers by Max Porter, which is quite outside of my normal wheelhouse at least, if slightly closer to yours. Though weirdly, I originally picked it up, and it's been gathering dust on our to-read shelf for months. And then we joined a local book club because I discovered this was their next book. And it's quite small, so I figured the odds of us reading it in time were pretty good. So the book itself is told in 3 different voices. A grieving widower, his 2 children who share a voice, and the manifestation of their grief, which is a giant ill-tempered crow.
It's a very poetic book, inspired by Ted Hughes' poem The Crow. There has a lot of links to that, but also the way it is written. And one thing I quite liked is it makes quite good use of the page.
So for instance, there's lots of interesting things done with layout to try and sort of give it some pace and rhythm. It would be interesting if they'd done a bit more with the typography or the presentation. So as I said, the 3 voices are very distinct. You could imagine walking around an art installation and having the boy sections on sort of exercise book pages and the crow bits scribbled. And you could have gone a little more down that route with the presentation than Faber and Faber have here.
On the other hand, it's probably already quite expensive for a short book.
True.
I think I liked it, but I didn't love it. I think how I felt about it at the time was that it was nice, it was well done, it was potentially a good book, but given the topic of grief, I was expecting to feel more emotionally involved in the story, or at least to feel upset by it, and I didn't at all. And I think what it does seems to keep you at a distance from what's going on.
It's definitely a good book club book. There was a decent discussion that came out of it. I think if you want to read something about grief affecting a family and you want to be moved and through metaphor, I'd read Patrick Ness's A Monster Calls.
Yeah. So the big book I finished this month, which I think I started this month as well, so, you know, it's not that I've been reading this for months, is the final instalment in Cixin Liu's trilogy, Remembrance of Earth's Past, the series that starts with The 3-Body Problem. And this is Death's End. And I have a review up of the whole series, which is probably the best place to go if you want to know my opinions on the series in a kind of spoiler-free fashion, and I'm not going to spoiler it all here either. We'll link that video down below. But generally, I quite liked this one. I think I liked it more than the second one, not quite as much as the first one. And it's definitely still throwing all those really big ideas at the reader and, yeah, mind boggled a few times. So for that, I love this series. But I can also see where it has some flaws, especially if you like character-driven books. I'd say this isn't for you.
Our next one is another joint read. This is Paper Girls Volume 3 by Wilson, Chang, Fletcher and Vaughan. This continues to be a really fun series. Interestingly, for an all-male team, you are probably a better judge of this than I am. It seems a reasonably good depiction of teenage girls.
Yes. I love the characters in this. There's even like a scene where one of the girls has their first period, which is not something I've ever seen in graphic novel or even books. So yeah, that kind of makes it feel real and not like they're just kind of kick-ass female characters. So it's kind of sci-fi but also just really deeply weird. I think it reminds me quite a lot of Saga, and considering I think Vaughan worked on both.
Yes.
But it's all the good things I like about Saga. Not that I can think of what the bad things are, but yes, it's that weird world building. Yeah. So I think we'll both be excited when the next one comes out and try and pick that up pretty quickly as well. The next book I read is not my usual read. However, I was part way through Death's End, which is a little bit of a dark, gritty book, and felt I needed something a little lighter. I I've actually seen a few people talk about this book, in particular Stevie Finegan has got an interview with the author, I believe, on her channel. This follows a girl who is a geek, or she describes herself as a geek. I maybe consider her more of a nerd, very into kind of maths and random facts about the world, who then gets scouted to be a model, and a lot of drama ensues, especially seeing as her best friend has always wanted to be a model. So this was a good bit of fun. I read it really quickly and it was exactly what I needed. I actually found the modelling bits though less interesting, so I much preferred it when she was at school and there was just kind of drama and angst. So I'm not sure that means that the series is necessarily for me, but...
Good palate cleanser halfway through Death's End. An author you'll have seen me talk about quite a lot is Seanan McGuire. One of her series I've not been following, though now I can't think entirely why, is her Toby Day Paranormal Investigator type series. The protagonist is a half-breed caught between the world of the Fae and the world of humanity, and she thought she'd established a life in human San Francisco, and then spent 16 years as a koi in a pond in the city centre park. So that kind of broke all her ties to the mortal world. So, you know, pretty much start of chapter 2, she's adrift and trying to find out her way in the world. So these are Rosemary and Rue and a local habitation, and I'll definitely be continuing with the series. One note about sort of potential content that people might find difficult. I know that Aliette de Baudard, who is Vietnamese French, was asking on Twitter about this series. She was saying that, being mixed race herself, she found the continuing themes of being asked to choose between different heritages really difficult to read, and the comments she was getting back suggested that actually that remains a persistent theme of the book. So if that's something you find difficult to read, maybe give them a miss. Read the Encrypted series instead. So
that's everything we read this month, which I think for me was quite a good reading month. For you, I don't think that's anywhere near as much as you normally read.
Nope.
If you've read any of these, then let us know down below. I'd love to have a chat about them, especially with the Holly Smale series. If you've read later in the series and can let me know where they go from the first book, that would be interesting. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.